Wait a minute, did they just put a notch on a laptop? I'm trying to compute this. Yes, Tim Apple just put a notch on a laptop. Wait 1 second, a player gotta call Tim Apple. We gotta talk about these apples. Hello, Tim Apple. What up, player? Hey, let me tell you something. I see you, player. Liquid Retina XDR HDR display on the MacBook Pro? Okay. The return of MagSafe, a HDMI, and the SD card slot? Okay. Wait a minute, you didn't give us just one. You gave us the M1 Pro and the M1 Max? Okay. But wait a minute, player. Why did you put a notch on the laptop? Hello? Wait a minute. Hello? Tim, I was just playing, man. I'm just joking, Tim. That's right, Apple just released the best MacBook Pro, arguably the best laptop to date, period. And yes, I picked up 2 of them for you. I'm not giving them away. Hold up, player, nah. I'm just gonna show them to you and help you guys. Let's get to the video. All right, let's start with the notch, because that's the elephant in the room. Everybody's gonna be talking about and memeing. They were doing it before the event. They're gonna be doing it after the event. But here's some real non-technology snob-ishness. And let me just be honest and quite frank with you. Yes, there's a notch and it houses the camera array. But the reason for the notch is for us to get more display. They're gonna move the menu bar into the notch area. And honestly, it's as simple as this. If you roll dark mode, you good to go, because basically dark mode is just gonna put a nice dark menu bar up there and you won't see the notch as present. But for those of you out there, you animals who don't use dark mode, oh, you gonna get a head full of notch. You get notch on notch on notch. Something you might want to think about. All right, all jokes aside, let's get serious here, because the M1 Pro and the M1 Max is offering something revolutionary to the computing world, and I'm here for all of it. Okay, so the M1 Pro chip is capable of up to a 10-core CPU, as well as the capability to go up to 16 cores GPU. And you can do a max RAM amount of 32 gigabytes of RAM, as well as a 200 gigabyte per second memory bandwidth. Now let's talk about the M1 Max. 10-core CPU, period. And you can get up to 32 cores of GPU, as well as up to a 400 gigabyte per second memory bandwidth. Honestly, you guys, the M1, which I'm currently using and editing on full time, the 13-inch M1, this right here is where I make it all happen. And there go all of my files being moved over right now so that we can make it happen again. But the 13-inch M1 MacBook Pro in the flesh. Bye-bye, baby. I'm sorry. You know, it was fun while it lasted. You did your job. And seeing that chip, as well as I have an M1 Mac Mini, we saw it with the M1. It changed what we knew and thought of computers at that point. But this M1 Pro and M1 Max is literally gonna probably be reaching legendary status. I don't know what Intel's gonna be doing. And here's another thought. I think Intel needs to honestly be worried, scared, or proactive, because at the end of the day, Apple removed themselves from them, showed them why they didn't need them, and also answered to the customer base. I know AMD is very proactive, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, but Intel, I hear crickets. All right, next up, let's talk about the display. This Liquid Retina XDR HDR capable, also with ProMotion 120 Hertz display. Whether you choose the 14-inch display or the 16-inch display, you're capable of 1000 nits brightness with a 1600 nit peak max brightness, and HDR editing station on the go. Literally, these displays are top notch. Next category, let's talk about ports, because if you're a pro Apple user and if you've been one for a while like I have, then you know that ports are everything. And one thing that has happened is we were stripped of those ports, but shout out to Apple, because they're getting back to their roots and they're bringing all of those ports back. Yes, you heard me, all of them. So basically, we're gonna be given an SD card slot, HDMI out, 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, and guess what? Drum roll, MagSafe has returned. Thank you, Apple. And coming along with that, you get the 3.5mm headphone jack, you know what I mean, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5, as well as the 6-speaker audio system that was exclusively on the 16-inch MacBook Pro now is being housed in the 14-inch version. There's literally no separation between the two other than size. And you can get fast charging. If you get the 14-inch M1 Max variant, you will be accompanied with a 96-watt charging brick. If you get the 16-inch M1 Max variant, you will be accompanied by a 140-watt charging brick. Ladies and gentlemen, a moment of silence for the touch bar. I don't miss it. I'm gonna be honest, I had issues with mine. I had to go to get an Genius Bar appointment, use my, what do you call it, Apple, what is that stuff called people get on their computer so they can replace them and fix them? I will not miss the Touch Bar, although I've grown to kind of like it on the M1 13-inch MacBook Pro, if I must be honest, kind of like it. So the last question that remains is, what did I order? Well, I ordered one for me and one for you. No, I'm not doing the giveaway. So when it comes to the 14-inch MacBook Pro variant, which is the variant I actually wanted, I maxed it out. I maxed out everything except for storage. Cause you know, Apple be taxing for storage. But I gotta be honest, Apple's giving some impressive SSD speeds for the internal storage. So I might renege on my 1 terabyte and go for an higher, well, I don't want to go too high because it gets crazy expensive. So basically what I got was the Apple M1 Max 10-core CPU, 32-core GPU, as well as I grabbed 64 gigabytes of RAM. Crazy. Yeah, I built the most overkill, probably more than what I need machine. Why would you do that, CJ? Because honestly, using the M1 MacBook Pro 13-inch, I've reached the ceiling over and over. When I do all those layer-ins and all these effects that you're gonna see in this video, it bottlenecks the M1. So I need headroom for growth and just for editing, period, for me. What did I also do? I grabbed the M1 Pro base model in the 16-inch variant. So basically, I can compare the M1 Pro with the base build, 16 gigs of RAM, the bare minimum, the more cost-effective, cost-efficient model, and put it up against the most ridiculously priced model. So I will be doing that comparison for you, as well as 14-inch versus 16-inch, and breaking down all of those things. Simple. Hit the subscribe button, player.
No. They say if you can't beat them, then you join them. No. That's no option, I don't join, I always beat them.
Hold up, player. You mean to tell me that they put a notch on a laptop? Tim Apple. You know what? After thinking about it, Tim Apple, you an evil, evil genius. This is called marketing. This is called brand awareness. This is called how you separate the new from the old.